They're late in the first half. You called, I think, your first time out of the season. What was the message to the guys during that timeout, and what did you think of the way they responded?
I think they responded good. We won't repeat what we talked about. Thought we had to play with much more defensive tenaciousness, be more disruptive. I think we ended the half on a 10-2. We did not end the half properly against Fordham. We talked about that in that huddle. But I thought the start of the second half, the end of the first half was phenomenal. Not happy at all how we ended the game the last 10 minutes. But it is what it is. We got to generate more free throws attempted. Only 15 tonight. I don't know if we've had a team in a long time only shoot 15 FTAs, and then obviously 20 turnovers in a win is kind of unheard of. We got back to maybe a little bit of our problem overseas, turning the ball over. But they weren't turnovers caused by defense. They were self-inflicted turnovers. So, but we did do a good job passing the ball. We had 231 passes, where we have been right around that 150 to 175 mark. So we shared the ball good, 17 assists on the 28 field goals. And defensively, we're through 3 games, we're really good defensively.
Down a couple threes tonight. It seemed like he kind of is more comfortable as the games go by. Just how encouraging is it to see him probably ahead of schedule from what you probably expected from him?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played really well tonight. Jordan did. I thought, Jordan knocking down 2 3 balls changes a lot of stuff for us offensively. I thought he was really good being aggressive. His shot selection was really good. He had 3 steals in just 15 minutes. Obviously, there's concern right now about his ankle, which is why I didn't play him more. He was on pace to probably play 30-plus minutes. Unfortunately, he did get hurt, and he was playing really, really good.
Scoring points off turnovers, plus 10 on the glass.
We might need to be more plus than that, Kevin. We might have to be plus 25.
So I guess the question is just in those aspects, blue collar glass, you talked about the defense, but just looking at the blue collar basketball, you said that's probably the main thing with DNA on this for your team. How did that look to you tonight?
Yeah, I thought defensively, we came in like there was some, in those first 30 minutes, there were some times where we gave up some dribble drives, and their post players did a pretty good job. But that was because we were staying attached to 3-point shooters. And so I don't think we've given up more than 5 threes in the 3 games that we played. South Dakota State's a really good 3-point shooting team. I mean, you're going to see this team have a lot of nights in the Jackrabbits where they make double-digit 3 balls during the course of their season. So I thought we did a really good job of hugging the 3-point line, making their 3-point shooters floor it. That was a big part of what we wanted to do. And then we felt like number 32, Detlinger, he was their leading scorer. And what were we going to do with the leading scorer? And obviously we held him without a field goal. So I thought that aspect of the question, Kevin, I thought we did a really, really good job defending across the board. They shot 32% for the game. And again, the 3-point defense holding them to 3 for 16. They also weren't allowed to get many attempts up because, we stayed attached.
A lot of the turnovers just through these games and even in preseason have been kind of unforced. Is that a product
self-inflicted?
Of
We call it.
Yeah. So is that a product of youth, or what do you kind of chalk that up to?
I think it's probably a lot of things, youth, only a couple guys returning. So a lot of new players, trying to figure out how defenses are playing us. So I think there's a multitude of, and then we got to, we're putting guys in offensive positions maybe that they haven't been in their career. And so we want to try to isolate Trevin Brazil, and We want him to play some small forward. That he has not done that. So you see him out on the floor tonight handling the ball much more than in games 1 and 2. So he had 4 turnovers. So now he's got to grow from that when he's playing 25 feet from the bucket, and we're trying to get him in positions to beat people off the bounce. But he will. You know, we got a lot of guys that I want to continue to try to improve them, ball handler, isolation, dribble drive guys.
You guys in scoring in all 3 games, and obviously Nick's absence or presence changes a lot of the scoring aspect, but is this something you expected from Ricky, and can he sustain this kind of production?
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness for Ricky and TB, because right now those guys they're both playing phenomenal. I mean, to think that you can bring a guy off the bench and he can have the impact that he has. He's a starter, and normally when you go to your bench, you're kind of, hey, can you play, and then you get to start. But with him, our game elevates. And I even thought the first half, I told the staff coming out that he didn't play enough in the first half, and that was on me. Like if he needs to get in 1:30, then we need to get him in there and not wait. So I don't know where I'm going, but
Anthony had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals tonight. He's not scoring at a super high clip, but he seems to be stuffing the stat sheet. Just how do you assess his season so far?
Well, first of all, I think defensively, Anthony's been a 10 out of 10. Defensively, it's really hard for people to get 3 balls off over him because of his length. He's doing a great job of sliding and moving his feet. I think one of the things that we had talked about was a guy, 6'8" defending point guards, maybe be a struggle to keep guys in front of him for a time, but he's been great. I thought tonight was by far his best offensive game of trying, because, a lot of point guards at all levels, it's a hard thing. Like, when do I shoot? Am I going to be aggressive? Am I trying to get my teammates involved? Because by nature, AB wants to be a pass first guy. But we're going to need him to get downhill some, and we're going to have to continue to come up with different play patterns that can kind of help him maybe be a little bit more aggressive offensively. But knocking down the 3, big step in the right direction. Jay Walsh knocking down 2 threes. TB's made some 3s. Ricky can make some. So now all of a sudden, I think that defense will hopefully open up a little bit more.
It's kind of a 2-parter.
Has Bob really not asked a question? That's what.
He's,
Are you all right?
he's on deck.
No, seriously. Do you have a voice tonight? Okay.
2-parter. What did you make of Jordan's stretch late in the first half? He knocked down the 3, had 2 steals and a block. And then secondly, what was your viewpoint of Trevin's dunk? I know I'm a young guy, but that was one of the more maybe impressive in-game dunks I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, the dunk's already gone viral. I do know that because Mariah texted me. She was not able to come to the game tonight due to dance class, and I got back and she had already texted about it. So I'm glad she was on point watching the game. It's hard for someone 12 years old to come back from dance and watch, but she was very impressed with the dunk, and she's the one that told me it went viral. But I did tell the team in the locker room, like, let's not give 2 points right back by getting the technical. Like, let's act like we've seen that play. Not that we ever have, but let's act like we have. Jordan was awesome. I mean, that for his productivity in those 15 minutes, I mean, that's what we need from him. I mean, I thought he was aggressive. I thought he played with toughness. I thought he was extremely focused. So I thought Jordan played great. I really did.
I've been trying to be selfish and not hog the mic. You guys got to be one of the top defensive teams in the country through 3 games in terms of shooting percentage, and 3 holding other teams. Just what have you thought of your defense as a whole?
Really happy with how we've defended. I think when we do drills in practice, they do a really good job. Surprisingly, because I thought maybe this would really have to evolve, but the buy-in and paying attention in drills, really high level, maybe as much as any team that we've had from a defensive standpoint. Them going from basket to basket. I mean, they're probably bored, but they don't act like they are. Their body language is buying in, where maybe in the past we've had some guys that got bored doing our station work. But this group's done a really good job of understanding scouting reports, which is a surprise. I thought last year, maybe the year before, it took us right around 10 to 12 games. All right, let's fully buy into what we're supposed to do.
Anybody else have a question?
I wanted to follow up on that. You said the scouting reports and buying in. Do you think the European tour and all the preseason action maybe plays into that, getting you ahead of the curve on that?
Maybe certainly playing 4 games, Kevin, I think helped, but we didn't really scout, you know what I mean, over there. Maybe drill stuff because of the extra practices. And yeah, thinking back about our walkthroughs on the beach and going to a volleyball court and drawing a basketball, and yeah, maybe because that was like preparation. So maybe that did have an impact.
And then looking at why being without a guy like Nick Smith, where so much was expected of through 3 games, consistent production, Ricky leading, scoring every game, Brazil double doubles, and the other guys kind of consistently. Did you think that you might see that kind of consistency from so many through 3 games?
No, I mean, I think we're playing, last year, I look back at some of the games that we played early on. I don't know what game numbers they were, but we had a lot of games where we went on runs late, Northern Iowa. And so I do think we're playing a little bit better. The I don't know. I can't compare, that type of stuff. I think it was really good going to Texas. They're playing really good right now against Gonzaga. But the bottom line is we have 3 really tough games coming up, against long athletic teams, 3 games in 3 days with the lineup right now that we can't really, afford to have sprained ankles and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know if I've told you guys, but Dave Odom called and he kind of runs the tournament and he said, "Hey, I'm just saying, coach, that somebody's coming back 0-3 that's really good." And that's a true statement because somebody is. So that we got to try to go focus and win our first game and then see what happens from there. And that game's Louisville's going to, I just told the team, Louisville's going to put a streak together. And they're going to play an A+ game sometime here in the near future. I can guarantee you that.
Wow. Yeah, speaking of 0-3, Louisville is 0-3, and they've lost Beller.
If they had 4 more points, they'd be 3-0.
Yeah.
So they're, I mean, it's to lose 3 games by 1 point. That's again, they're 4 points away from being 3-0.
But the competition, but Bellarmine.
I wouldn't want to play them. You see that game? Those guys, I've never seen a team pass the ball so much in my life. I've never seen a team not dribble the ball like that. It was a work of art. I know we're not playing that team. I can tell you that. But we will not schedule them as long as I'm living. I promise that.
I guess just obviously, 3 good wins here at home, but now you go to a neutral site and also kind of an exotic place. Although maybe it'll help that you guys have already been to Europe. But just how do you think, are you guys ready for a big tournament like this, do you think?
We'll know pretty quick. I mean, we're going to find out, because Louisville's long, really good at offensive rebounders. Number 3, Ellis he's a dynamic scorer. We're going to have to shrink the floor. We're going to have to spy on him. We're going to have to have really good transition defense. We're going to have to not turn the ball over against some players that are pretty active defensively for sure. And then we're going to have to, the paint is going to be really important too. They have great size up front. There's not a lot of paint points available with the way that they defend the rim. both last year and what they've done this year at times. So we'll see.
Any update on Nick and if he might be able to play in Maui, or kind of what's his status?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, Nick has gone from, I mean, he was out there shooting just now. And, I think he continues to improve. But, he's still, I mean, we want to make sure he's in a good spot. So it's just still like it has been, it's day to day, and he has not practiced. He has not done 5-on-0 skeleton work. So it's continues to be a process that we just have to evaluate day. And when I say day by day, I'm not like, he's not going to wake up tomorrow and practice. But I'm not going to do an injury report and tell the whole world where we are, day by day either. So he's not practicing right now.
He's making a trip.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not exactly the same as the NCAA tournament. You don't have the day in between games, but does an event like this maybe give your team maybe a little experience in that quick turnaround against high quality competition?
Yeah, I think the tournament's great, great for us. I mean, we've wanted to be in this tournament, even, prior to coming to Arkansas. We were talking to Coach Odom, and Nevada was probably headed there. Next year's tournament, same thing, to be able to go play in the Battle of the Atlantis, to be able to play in the Maui. I mean, they're like those are two of the premier. They're not easy to get into. Let me put it like that.
This is actually recruiting Bayfall, Layden Blocker, 2 5-star signees in 3 days. You can talk about them now. What is your take on this recruiting class to this point? And is it be a focus on portal in the spring, or do you still have your eye on high school talent?
Yeah, no, we're done in the high school ranks. We're gonna try to have a philosophy to go after high level high school players. And then like the 2 guys we just got, and then see where the roster is, and then go from there. So that's probably how, we're not recruiting anybody else in that class, for sure.
To go back to Maui real quick, 3 games in 3 days, I'm sure you take it one game at a time, but where do you feel like this team is at just from a depth standpoint and conditioning to be able to handle that back to back to back?
I mean, I have felt at the end of the year, Curtis, that our team's in the best shape in the country. I felt that our legs have been fresher than every team in the country. I feel like mentally, we have not been a team that looks tired mentally. I think we've looked fresh all the way across the board. Are we there right now? No, I think, in my opinion, I don't think we're in elite condition. I think we're in better condition than most people. But my hope is that in time we'll be in elite condition. So I mean, we need Jordan to get healthy for sure, because we just, we can't afford anybody else. We do have a couple guys that are sick. We need them to take their vitamin C and get rest, and see what happens.
In state tournament last year, you made sure the guys had fun, going to Niagara Falls or touring San Francisco, et cetera. Do you have some special stuff planned in Maui? So, obviously you're out there to play ball and win, but also, fun stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Friday, we're not going to practice here. Because I wanted to get in at a decent time and give our guys an opportunity to go to the pool, or they'll go to the beach with me, and we'll do a walkthrough for sure. Sometime between 4 and 5. We'll go to dinner, but we are leaving earlier than what was originally planned, so that we could be able to put our bags up and get out on the beach, and instead of doing a semi walk through here, do it on the beach. And then on Sunday, is it Sunday? Saturday, we're doing surfing lessons. And my hope and goal is to get everybody up on the board. We did it at Nevada. We had all 13 players be able to stand on a surfboard in the water and try to ride a wave. The longer the board, the easier it is to get up for those of you who have not surfed before. So if you get a really long board, you got a pretty good chance of staying up if you have some balance. That was in Costa Rica. Waves weren't quite as big, probably. I can promise you there's one team that's going to be focused to play, and that's us. I don't know how the results are going to go, but when we went to Niagara Falls, that had no effect on, actually, it probably had a positive effect on our mental state rather than keeping guys in a hotel room, which I know teams basically had guys not leave their hotel room. And when we went to San Francisco and we toured the Giants Stadium, that didn't hurt us. That helped us. So we're never going to do something at all that hurts our preparation. And it's my belief that if they, on a Saturday and you don't play till Monday, if you go hang out and do something you've never done, hopefully it helps your mental state as well as emotional state. He's telling me to go.